What's up, guys? Welcome to Blues Nation. This is a Chelsea FC podcast. This is the first episode. This is the first YouTube upload. This is actually my first YouTube upload into any channel. So if there's a lack of quality, problems with the camera or the mic, please be patient with me. I'm also probably talking to a future audience of maybe 3 or 4 people that might see this. So if you are here, I encourage you. You are on the ground floor. This is going to blow up. I know it. Just wait and see. But really, I'm really excited about this. It's been kind of a passion project that's been on my mind for years. Talked to some of my buddies. This is the case. It says on my YouTube page, established in 2022. What year is it now? 2024. But look, here we are. That's what matters. We're starting now. My name is Will, and I'm hyped to be here. I am not some qualified journalist or pundit with connections to Chelsea, but what I am is a long-time follower, a long-time supporter. I've been following them for probably around, 14 years. I adopted them as my team at the very start because I was this little kid who loved the color blue, and I still do to this day. I got this hat, I got the flag back there. It's my thing, and as a kid, that was enough for me. I knew somebody at the church I was attending, and they were into this team called Chelsea, and I looked into them, and there was this guy named Didier Drogba on the team, and their jerseys were an awesome color. So that's where it all started, and that's what has led me to today. So this channel, Blues Nation, is not going to be anything novel necessarily from some of the other amazing Chelsea channels that are out there, but what it is going to be is hopefully just another place for community between Chelsea followers, the people that love this team, that love watching the games, whether it be the men or the women or both, and want to talk about it. I think it's one of the best things about sport is the opportunity to, commiserate in the bad times, which we've had a lot of lately, or really thrive in the amazing times, which we've had some positive ones lately as well. So I'm really excited about this. The week to week of this channel will probably differ depending on whether we're in season, in an international break, or whatnot. But what you will be prepared to see is I'll normally have some type of either match preview or review depending on the day of the week that I post, and probably something related to the news of the day for Chelsea FC. So whether that be transfer news, coaching drama, stuff in the media, whatever it might be, transfer gossip, stuff like that. We'll cover some of that, and I'll sometimes get to dig into some articles. So if you don't want to do all that work of getting onto an app or getting online and seeing what's going on, I'll compile some of those things, get them together as well. And then one other thing we'll do as well is I have a section we're going to call 10 cents, not 2 cents. I'm giving you 8 extra because I'm just feeling generous. Actually, the real reason is I thought it was 10 cents when I wrote it down, and then my wife said, "What's 10 cents?" And I said, "Oh, it's 2, isn't it?" So we're sticking with it. I like it. So that's where we're going to go. So today, let's go ahead and get into it. So we're going to step straight into a match review because today is, September 21st, I think, and that's a Saturday, and we just played against West Ham United at the London Stadium, at West Ham's house. Never expect it to be an easy game, especially with the immense lack of consistency that Chelsea has had over the last handful of years, really. I think the commentator said today we've won one of our last 7 matches at their stadium, which is an astonishing stat, terrible stat. But that was not the case today. Today was an amazing game. Actually, if you got to watch it, we won 3-0. It was never close, never felt close. It felt like we were playing a team from League One or something like that because they just weren't ever at the pace of the day, which was bizarre, very bizarre. But there's 3 things I want to look at. So first, let me change over, and we're going to actually look at SofaScore to look at some stats. All right, guys. So basically, SofaScore, if you've never used it before, it's a really good stat platform. So if you want to look at anything like shots on net, passing accuracy, player ratings, as you see right here, all these sort of things, really any stat you could think of, this is where you want to look. So first, what I want to bring up, I have 3 wins from the match today because these are, I think, mainly positives from today's match. There will be weeks that will have a lot of negatives, but this week we have some positives, so let's enjoy that. So my first one is greater solidity at the back. And what I mean by that is we have been, to put it politely, porous at the back. At the start of this year and preseason, it seemed like it may be the same problem this year. Last year, we actually had, if you know this, the worst year in Premier League history for Chelsea Football Club defensively. We let in an immense amount of goals. We were not good. And that was with Thiago Silva still on the team. And with him leaving this summer, I was honestly quite concerned that we might be even worse this summer. But that has not been the case the last handful of games. And I'm hoping that trajectory can continue going up as we see the likes of Levi Colwill, Wesley Fofana, and if you know me, I love Trevor Chalobah, so maybe he'd come back next year, and I think he would be an amazing option behind those two guys instead of Axel Disasi or Benoit Badiashile. Love those guys, but maybe not on the pitch. So anyway, greater solidity at the back. And what I want to show you guys to really exemplify this is we're going to scroll down here. Like you can see, there's a lot of stats here. But what I look at is right here, big chances. So when you look, if you did get to watch the game and you look at the total shots, you'd probably think, okay, slightly even, maybe even slightly disappointing for Chelsea if West Ham in the green over here had more shots than us. But the bottom line is not whether or not a team had more shots, but how many shots were actually worthwhile, were actually high percentage chances. And according to SofaScore, West Ham had a whopping 0 big chances. And if you watch this game, you would not disagree with this. There was only maybe one chance that I can remember where I got a little bit nervous. You know, when you kind of just clench and you're on your couch and you get a little nervous because the opposing team seems like they might get something on your net. That was when it seemed like there were about 20 bodies in our box. I don't know what was going on. I think it was during a corner. And the ball fell very nicely to Jared Bowen, who's an accomplished player, a good player. And he just spooned it well over the bar. And I thought, this is the kind of day West Ham is having. Other than that, there was a chance that went into the back of our net with Mohamed Kudus, but he was well offside, so that does not remotely count. So anyway, the fact that we allowed 0 big chances demonstrates what I'm talking about with the solidity at the back. We have become a lot more firm, a lot more solid, and a lot more compact. It seems like we're covering each other well. We're actually being in the positions we need to be beforehand. We are winning aerial battles much more than we were in the past, and it's been great to see. Secondly, as we kind of continue to look at what I'm saying are the big takeaways from the weekend, this game today, I want us to look at XG. So if you are into stats, statistics, stuff like that, XG is a huge deal nowadays. Some people kind of roll their eyes at it because a lot of managers use it as kind of their scapegoat. Like, oh, well, we had great expected goals, so we really didn't play poorly. But it's still a helpful stat. And basically all it means is based off of the quality of chances that you performed and provided your own team, how many goals should you have likely scored percentage chance wise? And the problem is with this team was last year we severely underperformed in this category, especially with the likes of Nico Jackson. And I'm a big Nico Jackson fan. You can ask any person you can know. I'm in his corner. But last year he underperformed. He had 14 league goals, still pretty decent. He should have had over 20. He missed a lot of big chances, as we were talking before, and he underperformed in regards to his big chances and expected goals. But if you look here, our expected goal ratio is 2.19. We're expected to score 2.19 goals. And how many did we score? We didn't score 1. We didn't score 2. We scored 3 goals. And I think that's huge. I think that is huge to see because bottom line, we were not doing that last year. And honestly, we weren't really doing that in the preseason very much either. We were not in this trajectory of taking advantage of chances and making things happen. We were actually making things happen and then not taking the chances. So in this game today, as well as some of the other games we've been playing recently, we have been playing above our XG, which is huge. Because if you can start to play above your XG, like like teams of the likes Man City or Arsenal or your Liverpools, that's when you can start to actually be a competitive team in the Premier League, because you're not just relying on the games where you have 30 shots and 15 on goal, but you can still get wins even from games where you have 5 or less shots, and you can still get 1 or 2 goals from those shots. So that's huge. Outperforming your XG is a huge deal. So let's hop back to the screen share real fast. The last one I want to look at for why this game at West Ham was extremely encouraging, and as my friend Cameron mentioned, actually probably more assuring than even the Wolverhampton game, was because of the improved discipline and maturity of the team. And what I mean by that is pretty simple. We are a very young team. If you look down here, this is another cool thing about SofaScore, shows the first 11 average age. We are a barely 24-year-old average age team. And last week we were a little bit younger than that. I think we're like 23.6 or something. And the commentator said an astonishing stat. He said that we are 2 full years younger than the next youngest team in the Premier League on average age. That is how young we are, which, to be fair, I do not think that is an excuse to be as poor as we have been, because the amount of talent we have on the pitch, no matter how young we are, should outweigh lack of experience. However, even though that's a nice thought, it doesn't always come to reality. So we have at times lacked discipline. We have lacked maturity in that we don't put games away oftentimes, especially last year. We let teams get back into games when they shouldn't. We don't put teams to sleep when we can. We let go of 2-goal leads. We let go of draws when we have them in our pocket and they turn into losses. But this game was a complete exception. What I love to see is that, as we know with team sports, what always happens, there are always momentum swings, right? It's a pendulum. It's how team sports work. If it weren't, sports would be extremely boring, right? And you can look at the momentum right here. That's what this is about. It's about attacking momentum, this stat on SofaScore. After our 2 goals, which, again, proof of us overperforming XG, we did not have much momentum. We just made stuff out of nothing. West Ham had a lot of the rest of the next half. Not really much worthwhile or much value in the possession they had, but they had a lot of possession in our half. But we survived that. What did we do? Coming out of the second half, we came out firing out of the gates. Another goal from Cole Palmer, absolute beauty. And then the thing I love, this is the best part of this, in my opinion, proving the improved discipline and maturity of the team, is that past even the moment where we got momentum back, and maybe the 60 to 80th minute or so, where we could have scored a couple more goals, we never let them back into the game. In the moments where they would have been pushing hardest, look, in the entire second half, not once did they get close to really threatening with another goal. And that shows the improvement of this team in regards to their ability to actually step into discipline, realize this situation is a game where we're in complete control. Let's stay on the front foot. Let's stay with our hand on their throat and keep pushing them forward, right? Because that's the point. You have to take advantage of these games where you are completely outperforming the other team. So long story short, I think it was an awesome game. I think this is the kind of game we can continue to build upon as we start to feel confident. Like, these are not just one-off victories. There are now several victories that are dominant that we've been having this year that we can continue to say, this is the kind of character of team that we need to push forward to be as Chelsea Football Club. So now let's step into our next section. So one of the other sections I'm going to be doing in this channel frequently is 10 cents. I kind of gave a sneak peek of it earlier. Hope you enjoyed the name. I know it's supposed to be 2 cents, but we're going with 10 because it's more valuable. But anyway, this is essentially going to be a time where I really hope we can interact as the creator and as the viewer. I hope that you guys can interact in the comment section and maybe even just reaching out to me. I'll link my email on the channel. You can reach out to me that way. And I want us to interact. All this is going to be is opinion. This is an opinion piece, part of the video, where other things might be responses to articles, responses to news, responses to matches, stuff like that. This is just going to be an opinion on the scope of where is Chelsea, where is X, Y, or Z in the club, and what's my opinion of it. And then we can argue about it, we can debate about it all in good fun, or we can agree and say, yes, finally someone said this. Finally, somebody is recognizing this, and that is kind of more the side that I'm going to lean on today in my 10 cents. So what I'm going to be saying is something that might be a hot topic to some. Some people might say, okay, I tuned into this one video and I'm never listening to this guy again, but I'm still going to say it. 2024-2025 Chelsea FC season is the make or break year for Capitano Reece James. That's coming from a guy who loves him. I love this guy. Why do you think I have his jersey right here? I spent a little bit of mint on that jersey. I myself played outside back. I played left back. He's on the right, but even still, I love mirroring some of my game after him. I love his ability to whip in a ball into the center of the box to take an amazing half volley shot that always rockets into the side netting. I love the guy. But what has he not been lately? He has not been a part of the team, period. Because what is often said in sport, it says, what is the best ability? Availability. He does not have the best ability. He has not been available for this club in over really 2 years consistently. He has been off and on with his hamstring injuries, all these different problems. He had a surgery for it, which was supposed to fix the problem. Apparently, it hasn't. I don't think he's really been fit for probably 2 years. Because even when he has featured for us for, stints of 4 or 5 games, or even in this preseason, I thought he looked unbelievably out of form and unfit. And I don't know if that's from an actual physicality standpoint or if that's from a sense of he is nervous because of the unpredictability of his body at this point, which tends to happen with athletes when they have a lot of injuries. I'm not sure what it is. What I do know is that he has been put on absolute skates by the defenders he's been with the offenders that he's been interacting with when he's been back on the pitch, which is really unfortunate. And I'm hoping he can come back, and I still think he can. But my confidence is starting to waver in that regard because I'm a little bit nervous about it. I'm worried that he might not be able to push back because he's gotten so long into this process of 5 games in, injury, recovery, back, 5 games in, injury, recovery, right? It's like this recurring process that continues to happen. So bottom line, I think this needs to be his make or break year for his sake and also for the club. And the reason I say that is because we have been sucked into this unfortunate cycle where we don't think we need to get more cover for right back because we're like, okay, we have elite, at times world-class Reece James, right? And then in my opinion, elite Malo Gusto from last year and what we've seen of him this year. I think he is one of the best right backs in the Premier League, and I think he continued to grow to be even better than that. And because of that, we're like, oh, we definitely don't need another, right? That would be absurd to get another right back. But the bottom line is we really only have one. And sometimes we have none. Like today, we had Wesley Fofana, bless his heart, playing right back when he's really a center back. And last week we had Axel Disasi playing there. And that was a living nightmare. I think we can all attest to. That was a horrific showing. It's because those guys aren't right backs. Neither of them are. Wesley Fofana had a little bit of a better defense of himself there, but neither of them are right backs. Having 2 players that injure themselves so frequently is not a good squad assembly. So that is why this year we need to either figure out his health or move forward and maybe move a different direction. Because we can't continue to do the same thing every year. So that's my 10 cents for this week. You can agree with me, you can disagree with me, but that's my 10 cents for this week. So as we kind of wrap up this first video, I'm really excited that you guys are here. Whoever you are, if you watch this in 3 months, maybe it finally gets in an algorithm once it has 15 views. But I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm finally doing this. We're finally stepping into this because the bottom line is I'm just here to continue to build Chelsea community. I love the fact that it's such a widespread, worldwide community of people that follow the sport, as so many different people from different backgrounds that can connect on this issue and make friendships, which I think is so beneficial and awesome, just for us. And I'm excited to move forward. I'm excited to, as you guys are maybe here at the ground floor, you can see me get a real camera instead of using like a $10 Target camera that I'm using right now. You can see me get a mic, all these different things, and I'm hoping to make this experience better, higher quality, so we can discuss these things in a way that's enjoyable for us. So thank you for watching, and up the Blues. Let's go Blue Nation.